Imagine standing in a place where time itself feels compressed, where every passing minute gives birth to a brand new car ready to hit American roads. This isn't a futuristic movie scene or a tech startup experiment. This is real, and it's happening inside Toyota Motor Manufacturing, Kentucky, the largest Toyota factory in the world, hidden in plain sight. This massive facility is quietly doing something that has started to worry giants like Tesla and BYD. While the spotlight stays fixed on flashy EV launches and bold promises, Toyota is playing a different game, here one built on precision, discipline, and scale. A single glance at the numbers is enough to make jaws drop. One car every 60 seconds. Over 2,000 vehicles a day, all rolling out with the kind of consistency that most manufacturers can only dream of. And this isn't just about petrol or hybrid cars anymore. What's unfolding inside this factory could reshape the future of electric vehicles in ways few people are talking about yet. At first, the idea sounds almost unreal. 1 minute on the clock, and a finished car is ready. Another minute passes, and yet another follows. No chaos, no rush, just a smooth, relentless flow of production that feels almost surgical in its accuracy. This is not speed for the sake of speed. This is speed built on decades of refinement. Toyota didn't wake up one day and decide to chase volume. This rhythm is the result of a philosophy that treats manufacturing like a living system, where every movement, every second, and every decision has a purpose. And that purpose becomes clearer the deeper you look inside the Kentucky plant. The backbone of this operation is Toyota's legendary production philosophy. Lean manufacturing ensures that nothing extra exists on the floor, no wasted motion, no unused parts, no unnecessary steps. Every component arrives exactly when it's needed, not a moment earlier, not a moment later. This is paired with Kaizen, the idea of continuous improvement, where every single day is an opportunity to do something slightly better than yesterday. Small changes compound over time, and inside this factory, those tiny gains are what allow an entire car to be completed in just 60 seconds. But the real magic happens when this mindset merges with Toyota's just-in-time system. Parts don't sit around collecting dust. They flow directly into the assembly line, keeping production smooth and costs tightly controlled. And while this might sound simple on paper, executing it at this scale is something only a handful of companies on Earth can pull off. But here's where the story takes a sharper turn. This level of precision isn't driven by human effort alone. Inside the plant, advanced robots handle some of the most demanding tasks, from body welding to heavy structural assembly. These machines don't tire, don't lose focus, and don't drift from spec. Alongside them, artificial intelligence systems quietly monitor every stage of production. Sensors track alignment down to fractions of a millimeter. Software flags even the smallest irregularity before it can become a real problem. In many cases, issues are corrected before a human would ever notice them. The factory doesn't just react to problems, anticipates them. And that's what separates a fast factory from a smart one. Still, despite all this automation, the heart of this place isn't silicon or steel. It's people. More than 8,000 workers show up here every day, and Toyota treats them as a core part of the system, not replaceable parts. New employees don't jump straight onto the line. They're trained carefully, taught not just how to do a job, but why it's done a certain way. Safety is baked into every process, and the environment is designed to keep workers focused, calm, and respected. What really sets Toyota apart is how much it listens. Regular Kaizen sessions invite workers to point out inefficiencies or suggest improvements. If an idea makes sense, it doesn't get buried in paperwork, gets tested. This culture creates loyalty, and that loyalty shows up in the quality of the cars leaving the plant. And now, something bigger is quietly taking shape. This factory is no longer focused only on petrol and hybrid vehicles. Behind the scenes, Toyota is preparing it for a future dominated by electric cars. Assembly lines are being redesigned to handle petrol, hybrid, and EVs side by side. Prototype electric models are already being tested discreetly, away from the noise of marketing campaigns. Toyota doesn't want headlines for half-finished ideas. It wants results. That's why changes here are happening methodically, section by section, until the entire plant can shift gears without breaking its rhythm. The most critical part of that transition is batteries. Toyota understands that whoever controls battery production controls the future of EV. That's why the company is moving toward in-house battery manufacturing at this very plant. Instead of relying entirely on external suppliers, Toyota wants direct oversight from individual cells all the way to complete battery packs. Every battery goes through rigorous testing for thermal stability, voltage consistency, and long-term durability. Hybrid batteries and full EV batteries are both under development, each serving a specific role in Toyota's broader strategy. This approach gives Toyota something many rivals struggle with: control. Control over quality, control over cost, and control over long-term reliability. Looking further ahead, this factory could become the birthplace of Toyota's most ambitious leap-yet solid-state batteries. These next-generation batteries promise faster charging, greater safety, and significantly longer range compared to today's lithium-ion packs. Toyota has been careful not to overhype this technology, but testing is already underway. If solid-state batteries reach mass production here, the impact could ripple across the entire EV industry. Charging times could shrink dramatically. Range anxiety could fade, and suddenly, the advantages that companies like Tesla built their reputations on wouldn't look so untouchable anymore. This is where the contrast becomes impossible to ignore. Tesla moves fast, pushes software updates overnight, and sells a vision of the future built on speed and disruption. Toyota moves quietly, perfects systems over years, and focuses on balance and dependability. One approach grabs attention. The other builds empires. Inside this Kentucky factory, Toyota is proving that it doesn't need loud announcements to make powerful moves. It just needs time, discipline, and scale. So when you see a Toyota Camry, ARAV4 Hybrid, or a Lexus Ease gliding down an American highway, remember where it came from. It wasn't rushed into existence. It was shaped minute by minute inside a factory that's already preparing for what comes next. The EV race isn't just about who starts first. It's about who finishes strongest. And from what's happening inside Toyota's Kentucky plant, it's clear this race is far from over. And once something becomes the standard, the conversation naturally slows down. There's less noise, less urgency, less fear of missing out. Buyers begin to trust their own judgment again instead of reacting to pressure. And when that happens, markets stabilize in a way no regulation ever could. This is why moments like this don't feel explosive. They feel settling. They bring the industry back to fundamentals. Build something people can afford. Make it last. Make it safe. Make it easy to live with. Everything else becomes optional. Years from now, analysts may still debate timelines, technologies, and winners. But on the ground, the shift will already be complete. People will remember this as the point when they realized they didn't have to rush, that they could choose wisely instead of urgently, that progress didn't have to feel risky, and in a world moving faster every year, that realization is powerful, because sometimes the smartest move forward is knowing when not to hurry. And that's where this journey finally reaches its quiet conclusion. Not with a dramatic twist, not with a bold prediction, but with a simple understanding that will likely outlast any headline. The auto market didn't change direction overnight. It adjusted its posture. It stood back up, took a breath, and remembered who it was supposed to serve. This moment showed that people don't need to be convinced to move forward. They need to feel secure doing it. When a product respects that need, it doesn't have to shout. It doesn't have to it just works, and that's enough. Long after newer models arrive and future technologies mature, this shift in thinking will remain. Buyers will continue asking grounded questions. Companies will be forced to answer them honestly, and the space between hype and reality will shrink. Not because innovation slowed down, but because understanding caught up. So if this story feels calm by the end, that's intentional, because real impact doesn't always end with excitement. Sometimes it ends with confidence, with people feeling like they made the right choice, with an industry reminded that progress only matters when people are ready to walk with it. And in that sense, this wasn't just the story of a car. It was the story of timing and how getting it right can quietly change everything.